Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you very much for helping this channel achieve 10,000 subscribers. Now normally I script every single thing before I say it. I write down everything and then read off the screen. This time I'm not going to do that. I'd like to talk to you all, if you're interested, about what's happened to get us to 10,000 and what's going to happen in the future, including some major mistakes that I realise I've made and how I'm going to rectify them as we go forward. Now, there's something called the Pareto Principle. The Pareto Principle means that normally there's an 80-20 split between anything. 80% of the results are achieved by 20% of the effort. 80% of your carpet is walked on only 20% of the time, whereas only 20% of your carpet is walked on 80% of the time. The same split is entirely true with this YouTube channel. 20% of my videos are making 80% of the views, likes, subs and bell notifications. Now when I started this channel many years ago, I was just a guy who liked video games and I played Neverwinter a lot. I made Neverwinter dungeon guides and tutorials. They were successful. They did pretty well. I knew my stuff when it came to Neverwinter. Unfortunately, the game kind of went downhill after that and no one was really that bothered about playing it. So I moved on and I tried to read writing prompts off Reddit because I like Reddit and I like fictional stories. I liked to bring the narration to that. Then I made some philosophical videos about how much art is worth and the nature of value in our society. Then I did some game playthroughs. I finished Dark Souls, Cuphead, Dead Space, Tomb Raider, Dead Space 2, Baldur's Gate, Bioshock, Command & Conquer 3, all the various ones. Then I made a full daily vlog of my life for like 100 days in a row. I filmed every single thing I did and spoke about it. Then I started doing a weekly roundup of all the news that was going on called The Weekly Geek. Then I made some World of Warcraft guides. That's when it really began to take off. Now, I started making some Terra guides for the MMORPG Terra, including a beginner's guide to Terra, which did pretty well. Then I made a beginner's guide to old school RuneScape, and that did quite well. Then a beginner's guide to Guild Wars 2, and that did quite well. Then I did a beginner's guide to World of Warcraft, and that is nearing 400,000 views. That is, statistically, most likely the video that you have seen first, or that you know me from, or that you followed or subbed to this channel because of. Then I thought, I've got something here with these beginner's guides. Let's move into that. Dark Souls beginner's guides, Magic the Gathering beginner's guides, even Dungeons and Dragons, and then Warhammer 40k. All simple to follow, easy beginner's guides. I then moved away and decided to review some video games, including Tomb Raider, and then I made videos about if old games were any good, including Rayman and Soul Reaver. Then I thought I'll review some films as well, so I made some bad film reviews. Then I looked into an interesting project I'm still fascinated by but is far too difficult to do, called an IRL RPG. Then I made some daily videos where I'm just looking at what's going on in the world of nerd. Then I wrote an audio drama about RuneScape called Trouble and Strife. Then I made some RuneScape trivia videos, some RuneScape challenges. Then I worked on an entire history of the MMORPG genre called Our Virtual World, a history of the MMORPG. And recently I've made a video about whether you should play World of Warcraft Classic. Now, here's the problem. Where's the consistency? What's the brand of this channel? What do I do? If you follow a YouTube channel, you kind of want to know what to expect. I follow Saberspark. I know for a fact that I'm going to get reviews of animated films. I follow Triple Jump. I know they're going to play bad video games. I follow the Jocko Podcast. I know I'm going to get him talking about stuff that's important to him and his life history. The big mistake I've made with this channel, and I apologise if it's annoyed anyone, is I had no real brand and no real consistency. I didn't really know what I was doing with it. I just shared what I liked when I wanted to. I liked this, so I made a video on this. I liked that, so I made a video on that. Unfortunately, that's kind of changed now. Because of COVID-19, I, along with a lot of other people, have lost their main source of income. I used to be a teacher, and I love teaching. I was very good at teaching, and I want to get back to it as soon as I can. But I'm relying on YouTube for the majority of my income right now. I had to launch a Patreon campaign to help support the audio drama, as that was taking 8 hours of my day every day. If I only have one channel, then I have to keep it to one thing. MMORPGs are my thing, so I'm going to be focusing on those. But I still want to share everything with you, such as Warhammer 40k, Magic the Gathering, health and fitness, general Reddit stories. And so instead, I'm going to have to branch out and make a couple of new channels. I'm not sure if they'll succeed, but if they do, they may become the primary. So here's a 10,000 sub update. This channel is going to become much more consistent with the kind of content that I put out and create onto it, the kind of thing it hosts. It will be mainly MMORPG general discussion. If I need to do specific guides for specific games, I'll probably be better off served making a channel for that game. If you come here expecting World of Warcraft guides and you're hit with Guild Wars 2 and RuneScape, not really your kind of thing. But if I have a couple of channels with RuneScape guides, World of Warcraft guides, Guild Wars 2 guides and Terra guides, that may help. I'll then have a separate channel talking about Warhammer 9th edition as it just comes out and I can explain the game. I'll have a separate one talking about Magic the Gathering so you can follow what you care about and you can only get the stuff that interests you. It's going to be more work on my part, but I believe it'll compartmentalise down all the content. Thank you very much if you followed this channel. I know this has been a long rambling update, but I like to keep you informed on what I'm doing. This is more for my benefit, so in the future I can look back and say, this was the moment that I decided to become more consistent. Do me a favour, let me know what you like in the comments. What content do you want to see more of? And more importantly, what content do you want to see less of? Thank you very much for your time, and as always, have a great day.